Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Today, coming to you from Studio A in Texas, USA. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, and Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday broadcast. Next weekend, we're going to be broadcasting from Tailpipes and Tacos, the Kirby West University location off of the Southwest Freeway between Kirby Drive and Buffalo Speedway.
Speedwagon?
Sure.
Okay.
Speedwagon, that's it, yeah. That'd be REO
So
Speedwagon.
that's for all the interloopers. You would use that phrase earlier, that don't want to go all the way out to Katy. Get all those high-dollar cars you have there in the interloop and come on, stop in and say hi.
Yeah, the Mercedes, the Bentleys, the Rolls Royces, all those.
The lifted Bentley.
The lifted Bentley.
Yeah.
The donk.
All right, joining us right now is an old friend of mine, and I put that lightly. His name is Gary Garnett, and he's representing Keels and Wheels. Bob Fuller has been a little bit under the weather, and so in his place, Gary Garnett, and it's a perfect placekeeper. Mr. Garnett, it is great to see you, sir, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Don. It's great to be here. Haven't been a lot of years.
Yeah, it has been a lot of years. Gary and I go way back. I used to do voiceovers for his travel company. They did travel videos, and that's where Gary and I met. As a matter of fact, when somebody said, Bob, I want you to talk to Gary Garnett, I said, man, I know that name from somewhere. And so my memory is bad, but at least I can remember the name Gary Garnett. I'm thinking, I know him from somewhere. And I think I met you back in the 80s, early 80s, as a matter of fact, when you had Travel View.
Yeah, that's correct. It's been a long time ago.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, that's not what we're here to talk about today.
That's back in Don's disco days.
It was back in the disco days, as a matter of fact, and Gary's as well. But Gary is involved heavily in...
I think we have...
I'm sorry, say again?
Yep. I think there may be some old video footage of you back then that might come surface sometime.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, please, I'll pay you for it.
Yeah. That's the scary thing about knowing some old friends. You know, they may have some pictures of me.
Some stories
stories to tell. There's no doubt about that. So Gary is representing Keels and Wheels, and great events coming up May, first weekend in May, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Gary?
That's correct, Don. May 1st and 2nd.
And so tell me about what it is that you're working on. I guess the show is pretty much set, right?
Well, we've got a couple of weeks left. We have over 200, probably around 250 cars registered and 75 boats.
Wow.
This is our 25th anniversary. You said Bob Fuller started this 25 years ago, and it has grown into one of the top concours in the nation.
Yeah, you get vehicles and boats, as a matter of fact, from all over the United States, and some even over the North American continent.
That's correct. That's correct. This year we're really excited. We have the movie cars from Ford versus Ferrari, which will be here on site, along with Aaron Shelby, the grandson of Carol Shelby, and Peter Miles, Ken Miles, the driver's son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, when I talked to Gary a day or so ago, we talked about having them on the show, and if they're there on site at that time, then we're going to have them on.
Well, it's nice to get that kind of support from the family the families that were depicted in the show. I know we'd met Aaron a couple of years ago down there when Ellery Andrews had first time he displayed his GT500 barn find. And Aaron was there and had a chance to talk with him as well.
How cool!
Yeah. So tell
not only the Shelby Club and the Culver Club and the Shelby Foundation are supporting this community. They're bringing people in from all over the country. They just want to be for the show. So it's going to be interesting. We have a new event this year that's being added to Keels and Wheels called Club Concours. In Club Concours, we have a VIP area, which is admittance by here has a bar, drinks. And then Saturday night, we're going to have Main Street, the band from Pearland, and a concert, a little show from 7 to 10 on Saturday night. And that is all included in the Club Concours ticket.
Wow.
So it's a whole weekend.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, and when the Shelby folks come out, it's they draw quite the crowd as well of people wanting to see them. But we also understand you guys not only going to have the GT40, you're also going to have the Ferrari that was depicted in the movie.
That's correct. And we have a lot of Ferraris from the local Ferrari club are going to be there, as well as numerous Cobras, Mustangs, some beautiful cars are coming. Really beautiful.
And, I know Grady has always been, for a few years, he's the president of the local Ferrari club. He's also been one of your judges for the concours as well. So it's great to see that kind of support coming from the local Shelby and the local Ferrari folks to Keels and Wheels, because it's a great show, and it's really one of the only in-the-water boat and car shows that are combined together on display. And the boat display just takes my breath away. What was it? A couple of years ago, they had the twin Chevy V8 Riva was one of the boats that was right there. I tell you, you want to see some beautiful wooden boats, you want to definitely go to Keels and Wheels and take a view of what they've got. But it's not just wooden boats; it's also classic glass boats and some big steel boats from the past.
Have we lost Gary altogether now? So, Gary, we're having trouble receiving you there on the boat, and Mr. Mars is going to send you a request for to talk to us just as an audio only. So wait for that to happen. We're going to drop you right now, and we're going to talk more about Keels and Wheels. But in the meantime, look for another invite, and then we'll get you on just with audio because we're having problems receiving your Zoom feed. Okay? I will tell you this, that you're right about the boats. At one point in my life, I actually owned a boat. And like they said and warned me ahead of time, Don, a boat is nothing but a hole in the water that you pour your money into. More so than an actual automobile.
Well, that's an acronym? BOAT. It stands for Bust Out Another 1,000.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
And to go and pay the launch fees and oh my God. Plus all of the ancillary stuff that you have to have on a boat. And if you don't have it and you get caught, you're pretty much going to boat jail.
Cold beer, bikinis.
Well, besides those things like life preservers, anchors, some sort of navigation equipment. Of course, now you've got your phone. But
Flares.
what if you're flares? What if you're out there on your boat and you don't have cell service? Well, you're screwed is what that is.
Hotspot.
Yeah, they ain't no hotspots. Kind of like in here today.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's one of those kind of internet kind of days,
Or lack of internet kind of days.
There's that. But at any rate, you were talking about boats down there at the Keels and Wheels event. To see these boats, these guys are as passionate about their boats as somebody that owns a 63 split-window Corvette.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
just as happy to talk about them.
Yeah, and almost all of them are wooden boats. Mm-hmm. And to see the finish on these boats, talk about a lacquer job.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
These boats are absolutely stunningly beautiful. And let's not forget the woodworking that's done.
And we'll have to ask, because on a boat like that has all the time and expense put in it, do you actually use it? Do you actually go out on the lake or the water, the Gulf, the
well,
bay?
they're in the salt water to
Yeah.
show the boats at the Keels and Wheels event.
Right. That's amazing.
It truly is. And so, think of this. Those boats that come from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s that are there, you know darn good and well that they haven't been preserved like what you see there all the years. A lot of them is a lot of woodworking that has gone on. A lot.
And you talk about some skilled and crafted woodworking going on. You know, the greatest cabinet makers wish they could do some of the wood
to get
wood
that shine to rub on that wood too. Yeah,
and on top of that is, you know, some of the wood those were made with can't be replaced with the same type of wood today.
The exotics, yeah.
Because some of that exotic wood that was used back in the 50s, you're not allowed to import in the United States.
Some of that wood can only be collected in the morning. But
yeah, exactly. And the polish job on it too. I mean, it's just glitter. The
takes a special ointment on the wood to make it glow.
Number 2. Wait a minute. Where's your bell? It's the word. It's the word of the week.
You know, you got to remember also, Keels and Wheels is all about charity. Keels and Wheels, the Lighthouse charity team, you know, they want to make sure that they are providing funds to different charities in the Bay Area. Today's Harbor for Children, you know, they've been going now for more than 70 years, and I know Keels and Wheels over time has donated millions of dollars to that charity, and that's for the young men and women displaced in the area that are looking for help. And then also the Cole Gordon Helping Hand charity is a new one that's become part of the Keels and Wheels charity
and that's
groups.
To their kudos to the group. Because of COVID and all the restrictions, that they've actually got this produced and going to be putting on the show. Well, so that's amazing as well.
And it's done at the Lakewood Yacht Club.
A task in itself, yeah.
And you know
how much are the tickets?
I didn't look at tickets.
I can't even get Keels and I can't. The internet here is just really screwed this weekend. Yeah, it's
but
a mess.
The Lakewood Yacht Club members are the volunteers to facilitate Keels and Wheels. So they're the ones that are out working the parking lot. They're the ones that are giving directions, driving the golf carts around, you know, taking care of each of the individual areas.
And then we come along and screw it all up.
I'll be signing autographs.
Oh, God.
Yeah, after the show.
You will?
I will be. Yeah.
Well, I want to see the line formed for that.
In advance, tickets are $30.
Were you handing out the ointment?
There'll be $40 at the gate. Students and 13 and older at the gate are $15. Under 12 are free. So, you know,
awesome.
Really, you know,
Run that by me again. How much?
So, in advance, tickets are $30. At the gate, they'll be $40. Students 13 and older at the gate are $15 with a student ID, and kids under 12 are free. So, you know, really not a bad weekend to go see some pretty cool stuff.
And to have the younger crowd, the younger generations, see what it's all about. Expose them to that, yeah.
What do you know what the hours are? I can't get even on my phone.
Well, let's see. It starts at 9 a.m. and closes at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Each day.
All right. So my recommendation would be
buy your tickets in advance.
And then go early as you can to get out there. They have shuttle service and lots of parking all around there. And you can see where the parking is. You're directed to the parking, and then they'll shuttle you over to the yacht club. Because every inch of the Lakewood Yacht Club is taken up by this show and all of their show cars. So they let you off right there at the front gate. You go in and just start. And usually they have a lot of the really old cars up front.
Underneath all the oak trees as you enter. Stunningly, almost a breathtaking view as you come on the property there at Lakewood Yacht Club. And here are these majestic 100-plus-year-old oak trees with all of the classic 30s, you know, teens, 20s, and 30s cars parked underneath all of that there. It's really pretty cool. Very photogenic. Bring a camera and take lots of pictures. It's very cool.
And not only of the cars, but your family as well. The wife, the kids. It's really a fun
And
event.
if you get there between 8 and 11 o'clock, you can come take pictures of us, too.
Yeah.
And then George Skelton will Photoshop them into something that it really wasn't.
That's right. And have me looking like Bernie Sanders in every shot.
On Mars.
Out on the railroad tracks.
In the blue bonnets. I haven't seen blue bonnets on railroad tracks, but whatever. Anyway, so come out, take pictures. There's plenty to eat, obviously. I mean, it is a true, well-done, high-class Concours d'Elegance.
And this year's featured marks are pre-war Packards, Corvettes of the 53 through 72 generation, which is going to be C1, C2, C3 Corvettes. Porsches from 48 to 73.
Notice that I was not invited in my C5 Corvette.
Well, because it's a 2001.
Yeah. Well, whatever the case may be.
Your Corvette's too new, but you're old enough to know better.
And I sure am glad that I'm not in that field of Corvettes that are going to be there, because let me tell you, I have been there, done that. That is a lot of work if you're going to show at that level.
And they're also going to have a pretty big collection of vintage motorcycles, which would be pretty cool. If you follow us on Facebook, I've been popping on some vintage motorcycles lately. I don't know that any of those are going to be there, but I would imagine there'll be some real cool.
I'm a big Indian motorcycle fan. And because back in my day, the Indians were hot. You know what I'm saying? The Harley Davidsons, they weren't that big of a deal. I mean, they were there. And clearly, with the factory in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there were lots of them around. But I was always the Indian motorcycle guy.
You were the odd guy in Milwaukee.
For some reason, I don't know what it was. I guess I liked the way that they looked or something.
My brother used to give me Indian burns on my arm.
Indian burns, I remember those.
Did it take an ointment to fix it?
It did.
Ding, ding. Okay. The other thing is the featured boats are going to be Century boats and Yellow Jacket boats. So if you're, if you're into the boating world and you want to see some awesome wooden boats.
I was invited. Actually, you have to be invited on, especially the yachts.
Sure.
And most of the time, they're open to the public. You just have to ask permission to come aboard, take your shoes off, and go in. And so
it's kind of like McHale's Navy.
Kind of like that.
Like below deck.
No, it's not like below deck. But I will tell you that I was invited on, and one of these boats, oh my gosh, it was a boat that, and I don't remember the name of it, privately owned boat, older couple, and absolutely meticulously kept, all wooden. Everything on it was wooden, and it was stunning.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They even had the old dog there waiting for you to pet it as you walked in. Yeah, it was beautiful.
But you literally walk up the plank, permission to come aboard, and they give you permission to come aboard. Very formal.
Very formal, very nice. But once you get on board,
how cool is that to get on somebody's boat?
Yeah, and once you get on, I mean, it's very informal once you're on there. Oh, well, is there any questions I can answer, that sort of thing. They're proud of their boat.
Oh, they should be. Some of those boats are multi-million-dollar.
Yeah. And this one was.
Yachts.
Yes, they were.
So with the motorcycles and the Packards, there's themes of each event. Should we all dress up like Gilligan's Island? Should we be part of the SS Minnow?
Well, we'll be there on a 3-hour tour because we're on from 8 to 11.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and Jeff will have lots of ointment in his pockets.
I can be the skipper. Mars will be Gilligan.
Thanks.
No, he's the millionaire.
Don can be the professor.
I'll be the professor. May I?
I'll be Gilligan.
Okay, yeah. No, actually, you could be Gilligan.
No, I think it's more along the lines of Mary Ann.
There you go.
in his short shorts.
All right. Well, I'm sorry that the interview with Gary Garnett kind of went down the toilet.
Owl.
But at any rate, we love you, Gary Garnett. We hope that we did your – well, I don't know as if we did Keels and Wheels any services here, but we tried.
Well, we talked about the important things there, which is, again, it's all about charity there, and they've done the charity event since it's been a charity event. Since
and how many years has this been going on?
25.
20 silver anniversary.
Silver anniversary.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much. Keels and Wheels, put it on your calendar first weekend in May. Hey, by the way, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. And it's kind of a different car clinic today?
No, today's
talked about
next weekend. We're going to do something a little bit different.
And what's it going to be?
Today is going to be
next week.
Next weekend is going to be about a person.
A person
in the automotive genre.
Okay.
And I'll kind of intermingle those over time about kind of a historical person. Okay. And it's going to be about Big Daddy Ed Roth and Rat Fink. And
love that. Okay. So what do we got today?
Well, today, why do hybrid cars need maintenance? I buy this hybrid car and I shouldn't have to maintain it. Well, wrong. You have to maintain everything. You have to remember hybrid cars, they still, and a hybrid means there's an electric component, propulsion component, but it still has ICE, internal combustion engine, attached to it. And in many of them, that internal combustion engine drives a generator. The electronic feature is what propels the vehicle. So you still have to maintain the gasoline engine that's on your that's inside of your hybrid car. And in some instances, it requires some specific maintenance. If it's a plug-in hybrid, which means that you charge the vehicle during the night and then drive it during the day, and it still has a gasoline engine to it, a lot of those plug-in hybrids are going to go 30, 35, 40 miles before the gas engine's even going to turn on. And if you live in the metro area, you might not even engage the gasoline propulsion or the gasoline engine on it while you're driving back and forth to work. And that becomes a bit of an issue, because now all of a sudden you're going to have fuel that's going to age inside the gas tank. So you have to be concerned with, you're filling it up with an ethanol fuel. So the ethanol is a little bit corrosive that sits inside the fuel tank. Your fuel tank with condensation builds up a little bit of water inside of there, which even makes it even worse. And then the fuel will sour over time if you don't run a tank through it every so often. And I'm going to tell you, you probably need to be running a tank of fuel through your vehicle minimum of once a month. Just to make sure you're keeping fresh fuel. So if you live in the metro inside the loop, and you're driving a plug-in hybrid, so there's a gas motor and the electric function of it, you want to make sure that you're either changing the fuel, driving it often enough to change the fuel, or you're using a real high-quality additive inside the fuel tank to protect you against the corrosion and to put a real good fuel stabilizer in there. So that's one of the issues that create more maintenance in a hybrid vehicle. Another one is, they may have 2 or 3 cooling systems on them. So you're going to have an engine cooling system on a hybrid, and within that, you're also going to have a cooling system for the drive motor, and you may even have a third cooling system for the battery pack in it.
Can we get back to the fuel sources? When on a hybrid, I talk about, this has an 18.6 gallon fuel tank. Are they smaller fuel tank capacities in a hybrid, or
some
are they normal?
The BMW, what is it, the i3 or i1, what was that one?
I don't want one.
I don't want one. It's only got like 3.5 gallon tank.
Oh, okay. So they are.
Ask Mars about his experience with it.
Yeah.
He had to stop twice on the way from Beaumont over here to fill up, because
it only had 3.5 gallon tank. Yeah. So they probably have a little bit smaller capacity, but the problem is Houston, with all the humidity in the air, just like the condensation that happens on your windshield every morning, that happens inside your gas tank. So you got to do something either to burn it out, put a fuel dryer in the tank, or make sure you put a quality additive in the tank.
Well, there's gas stations in every corner, and that's truly the statement. I get 4 gas stations to the mile.
Okay. So, but again, all 3 of those cooling systems that are in your hybrid, you're going to have to keep those maintained and serviced, because all of the issues with the cooling system doesn't matter if it's dealing with the battery or if it's dealing with the electric motor and stuff. So, again, hybrids use regenerative braking systems that, as you're braking, that's going to repower the battery, but there's still a hydraulic braking system to the hybrid as well. So you have to maintain the braking system as well, the fluids and the pads and stuff on that. So maintenance is always important. There's always a lot going on under the hood of your vehicle, and that's why you want to take real good care of it and keep your car dependable on the road. Make the appointment to bring it into a place that's qualified to work on it, because certain hybrids require qualified technicians to work on it. But regularly scheduling the maintenance will protect your vehicle from issues in the future and extend the life of it. It's pretty simple. But a lot of people that buy hybrids think there is no maintenance necessary on them, and that's wrong.
Thank you, sir. Time now for a couple stories making auto news headlines this week. The Biden administration's $174 billion proposal to boost electric vehicles calls for $100 billion in new consumer rebates and $15 billion to build 500,000 new electric vehicle charging stations, according to a U.S. Transportation Department email sent to congressional staff and seen by Reuters. And let me just say this. back in the day, did the U.S. government actually kind of help along gasoline stations along the way?
Or diesel?
Did they help gas stations?
Nope.
No, they didn't. So why is my money going to build electric vehicles?
People don't necessarily. Not everybody wants to buy an electric vehicle.
Okay, I'm getting my blood pressure up. I don't want to do it.
Easy.
EV rebates.
Spend your money to do it.
EV rebates, part of a $2.3 trillion infrastructure and jobs proposal, could be a big boost to U.S. automakers, especially GM and Tesla, which no longer qualify for $7,500 tax credits after they sold more than 200,000 zero-emission models. White House declined to say how the $100 billion would be distributed or how much the grants will be.
Hey,
Joe.
Friends of Joe.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Let me get you really fired up. The other infrastructure part of that is about the everybody having the internet, which obviously we need to talk about. Yeah, but the government doesn't provide internet to anybody.
Yeah,
Who are they going to spend
But
that
once
money?
they provide it to you, they can control it.
But they don't provide it to you. They have to give the
excuse
money
me.
to a phone company to provide it to you.
Pardon me.
All right,
Are we getting off track?
all right.
As the rant continues,
That's another show. We need to start a different show.
You know,
and continuing the car portion of the show, early owners of Ford Motor Company's newest electric vehicle, the Mustang Mach-E crossover, have experienced a battery problem that leaves their vehicles unable to start after charging, according to a service bulletin filed by Ford and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Ford said a software glitch can cause the EV's smaller 12-volt battery to discharge while the larger high-voltage battery pack is charging. Ford said only a small number of Mach-E's built before February 3rd were affected, and dealers are able to correct the issue by reprogramming several of the electronic control modules on the vehicle. Thank you for that.
And you heard that GMC is going to offer an SUV version of the new Hummer.
I've got that if you'll let me continue.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just trying
you finish my sentences. You finish my sentences.
Old married couple.
Now he's starting your sentences.
I see what you're thinking, Don.
Oh God.
Divorce court.
Next.
General Motors is planning to build a battery-powered version of its top-selling U.S. nameplate, the Chevy Silverado, at an electric vehicle plant in Detroit. The pickup, designed and engineered as an EV from the ground up, will be powered by the automaker's Ultium batteries with a GM estimated range of more than 400 miles on a full charge. The company said on Tuesday it'll face a slew of upcoming electric pickups, including a battery-powered version of the F-150 and Rivian's R1T. Forecasting company Auto Forecast Solutions expects output to start in late 2022. And I've got a great story here. The launch of Alfa Romeo's crucial Tonale SUV has been delayed.
What?
Has been delayed after the brand's new CEO, Jean-Philippe Imperato, demanded better performance from the vehicle's plug-in hybrid powertrain, according to a source familiar with the matter. The Tonale's market introduction in Europe will be delayed until early 22, according to supplier sources. The vehicle also planned for North America, with this additional delay expected to mean a rollout in the market in the second half. The Tonale will use the same underpinnings as the Jeep Compass.
Let me see.
And that is the news for this hour. That's it for this hour of the In Wheel Time Show, and we will continue with the second portion right after a quick break. Stay with us.
The Tailpipes and Tacos monthly cruise-in has become so popular you'll be able to attend at more locations. Enjoy fabulous Houston car culture at any of the 4 participating Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex restaurants. Tailpipes and Tacos will be held in Tomball at Highway 249 near 2978, Bay Area Boulevard near the Gulf Freeway in Webster, the Grand Parkway just south of I-10 and Katy, and the Kirby location off the Southwest Freeway. Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and awesome cars. Mark your calendar for Saturday, April 17th for the next Tailpipes and Tacos at one of the 4 participating Lupi Tortilla Mexican restaurants, 8 to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. See collector cars, hot rods, customs, originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in this friends and family event. Start your Saturday off right at Houston's hottest cruise in. Tailpipes and Tacos, April 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. Participating Lupis are located in Tomball, Katy, West University, and Clear Lake. April 17th. In real time, we'll be broadcasting from the West University location on the Southwest Freeway, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it.
You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.